I'm coming back with another question, which is why is it so hard to change our normal ways of feeling and thinking? We seem to have certain patterns, and as they say, the richer gets richer, the poorer gets poorer. When we are whether positive people or negative thinking people, and we seem to have the same repetitive ways of reacting and feeling in similar ways towards everything that is happening in our life. So, for example, yesterday we had a big snow day here in Toronto. And my question for each of you is to take a few moments to reflect back and see how did you view the snow day yesterday? How did you label the big snow yesterday? Was it bad weather for you? Was it good weather? What did you do? Were you annoyed that you had to shovel the snow and get the car out of the driveway and the whole traffic was stuck? Were you excited to see so much snow, like in a Christmas day where we wish for white Christmas? Did you go out to play? Did you make a snowman? Did you go for a walk in the big snow, experiencing the snow and maybe taking lots of magical pictures, as I see some of you did? So how you responded to this situation that all of us living in this weather condition experienced, but each of us saw it differently, reacted differently to it. Some of us didn't care about it. So based on how we responded and how we labeled, how we saw the situation, it's a reflection, it's a little mirror of our patterns of thinking and feeling and perceiving the situations and the events that are happening to us. Now, we each tend to gravitate around the same field of emotional thought, emotional states. And as I was presenting earlier, our thoughts are strictly, clearly connected to our feeling, to our body reactions, and then to our decisions of actions and how we respond to everything. So this close connection, this circle forms a gravitational field, and we tend to really gravitate to our center of gravity. And that center, it's established, and through repetition, it becomes stronger and stronger. So, for example, we might respond to everything that is happening with us from a place of worry and fear. This is happening. What happens? What if the snow won't stop? What if it will cover my house? What if I won't be able to go and get grocery? What if? And all of those stories and scenarios, and then the fear and the worry attached to it. It's what we can respond the same to the snow yesterday. We can respond the same to the COVID situation. We can respond the same to a friend sending us a text that makes us feel worried about what they think about us, let's say. So we have our gravitational field is around fear. And we have these lenses where everything we perceive, everything about ourselves, about others, about the circumstances around us, we perceive them through that field. If we are more prone to sadness and depression, everything it's about loss. There is no point in doing anything and trying anything because nothing will lead to anything good. What's the point of the big snow and playing because it's going to be cold anyway and it's going to be melted in a few days, so there is no point. If we have the gravitational field of anger, let's say, everything is upsetting, everything is annoying. This stupid snow, why does it have to snow right now? We had enough problems on our plate. Why did we have to deal with another thing right now today? on my plate. And these are some of the examples of the negative field forces, but of course they are the more uplifting, more energy-giving field forces as well. And I'm relating here also, I will come back in a later video, maybe talking about the map of consciousness developed by the psychiatrist David R. Hawkins. And each of those states of consciousness are reflected in certain emotional states as well. So on the higher levels of the pyramid of consciousness, or the feelings, there is the feeling of courage. It's like, okay, I need to get the car out of the driveway. This is what it is. Let me shovel the snow one bit after another bit, and bit by bit, eventually, after several hours, I will take the snow out of one shovel at a time out of the driveway. It could be the place of neutrality, where it's okay if it's snowing, it's okay if it doesn't snow, it is what it is, the weather, it is what it is, I cannot change it, I cannot, there is no point in struggling with it, it is what it is, and I take it as such. There is the level of excitement. What we did yesterday in our family, a snow day is a yes day. So we have to, especially the parents, have to say yes to everything. So my daughter, on a big snow day, she wanted to have ice cream. So what we did, it was a yes day, we went for a walk in the big snow, we enjoyed the snow, and then we went to the store to buy ice cream. And we had ice cream on a big snow day. It could be the level of love and beauty, where everything that you see around, it's quite magical. It was quite magical, especially the beautiful sunset coming later on in the day. So we gravitate. We have this forces, the centers, the gravity centers for each of us, and we gravitate with every situation. You can. My husband came and he was wondering, why do I sing while shoveling the snow? Well, I was singing because I want to have a positive experience while shoveling the snow. So we can choose. We can choose, but first of all, we need to be aware of what our gravity field revolves around. And when we are aware of that gravity force field, we need to also be aware that it's quite powerful. That if we just let things be, if we just let our feelings and thoughts be themselves, they will always strongly, strongly, strongly gravitate and go around the same center that we've done it for a long time. This is the same principle, the need for homeostasis, for balance. And that's why, for example, diets don't work very well, because after a strenuous, hard diet, when we lost weight, we easily go back to the previous weight that we used to have for years. So our body naturally, even physically, on a physical level, moves to the same center of gravity, the same field that it was used to function before, right? So we have these changes, these moments, these diets, both on a physical and emotional, mental level, but then eventually we succumb back to our natural way of being. So understanding that this gravity force is acting and it's pulling us constantly, we have to make an effort constantly to think positively, to think differently. And it's true that if we want to navigate, to move, to create a different field force that we want, so if we want to live in a field force of calmness, of inner security, of willingness, of excitement, of happiness, of love, of joy, then if we are not there, if we are not naturally automatically gravitating around those fields, then we have to move towards them on purpose. We have to use our power of choice to start traveling. And initially, it would feel quite strenuous, and it will come with efforts like, this is not me. I'm the person that, okay, I'm pissed off all the time. Okay, and that's who I am. That's not true. That's not who we are. That's not how we are born to be. This is how we can tell if this is who I truly am. It means that this is the way I was when I came into this world, before I learned the ways of the world, before the world kicked in. And if I wasn't that way always, from the moment when I was born, it means that it's not me. But there are learned ways of coping, of reacting, that we might have borrowed from others, might have learned to use to get what we need to get, but it's not who we are. Okay? But at the same time, we can join a field by choice. And yes, just like when we create a snow path in a big pile of snow, untouched snow, at first, the first trail, it's going to be hard to make. Then when we do it the second time, it's a bit easier. The third time, it's already a path. And the more we travel consistently on that pathway, the more it grows, it becomes stronger, becoming eventually a highway. And this is the process, natural process of learning. Okay, so moving from one gravitational field to the one that we really want to experience, it requires a shift, a decision using our willpower, if you want, our power of choice. It's like driving that vehicle that I was talking about. We have our vehicle with our mind or our body, but we constantly have to remember that we are the driver, the owner of that vehicle, not the vehicle itself. And we hold on to the steering wheel. We are deciding on the direction that we want to drive. Okay? And if the new field, gravitational field, is where we want to be, let's say, again, stress-free or calmness or engagement or a joyful, happy way of approaching and seeing everything, then we have to sometimes make the U-turn and start driving in that direction. And at first, it will be strenuous. It's like we travel to the same workplace for 20 years every morning. And when we wake up, we get into the car, naturally, automatically, we will find ourselves driving to the same old place, even after we changed our job and our workplace. When we change our job at the workplace, we have to stop as we realize that we are traveling on the same old way and make a U-turn, make a shift to go. It's like, okay, I'm not working there anymore. I have to go in this direction right now. And we need to wake up and step out of the automatic ways and make the new choices. And sure enough, after traveling towards the new workplace for a while, we say at least 21 days, then it's becoming more automatic. But having this awareness that it's difficult, if not impossible, to feel and to think any differently than we are used to think and feel for years. It's because what we are used to, it created a very strong gravitational field, and we'll always gravitate towards that automatically, whatever it's scripted already, whatever the program it's in there already, without our awareness. Like I say, okay, it's bad weather, without realizing that why it would be a bad weather, snow day. What makes it bad per se? What makes it good per se? But we have to be aware of our automatic ways of perceiving, and as a reaction of feeling in that way. If it's a bad day, I feel bad because it's a bad weather. If it's a good day, I can feel good. I can think of possibilities, such as eating ice cream on a big snow day. So realizing, being aware of these forces, then we need to use our free will and to get back into the driver's seat, holding on to our driver's wheel and deciding on the direction that we want to go. So there are many, many ways, even in the moment, when we feel the way we feel. There are many ways to make that steering, to make that shift. My favorite way is actually singing, singing in the snow while shoveling the driveway, singing, taking a shower, listening to a podcast or a video that it's inspiring, it's positive, calling a friend that you know has a positive outlook on life, and you can be contaminated by that. Going for a walk. This is a big one, going in nature, hugging trees, literally hugging trees. There is so much power in that. Walking itself, I might talk about it in a later video. It's a natural way where we activate our self-healing system on an emotional and mental level. In professional terms, it's called the adaptive information processing system. So walking leads to what's called bilateral stimulation. It activates both hemispheres at the same time. And the researchers showed it activates that self-processing, self-healing system, where if we go for a walk while struggling with a problem, we walk, we think about it, we struggle with it, we are upset about it. But then half an hour later, when we come back, we are free, we are fine, it feels resolved. Versus if we do the same thing while sitting on the couch, where we are going in circle and sinking into that dark maze. So all of these are some examples of ways of how in the moment we can steer the wheel. And I'm sure each of you has their own ways of doing that, but we need to do it. We need to use our power of decision go in that direction rather than allowing ourselves to be pulled even more and more and more into that gravitational field that it's not the one that makes us feel good. And here I want to make a distinction between, there is this constant talk nowadays about negative thinking, positive thinking. And as much as I love positive thinking because it makes me feel good. It makes us feel good. I'm also a bit uneasy about this positive thinking movement. And personally, what I'm looking for, it's not so much the negative or positive, because they're not really negative or positive per se. We define them as such. Whether it's not good or bad per se. It's us, to our thinking, that labels it that way, and then we relate to it in this way, whether it is what it is. So my personal approach is not to have a positive thinking or to run away from a negative thinking, but to constantly look for the truth and align myself with the truth. Now, the truth, and this is a whole new discussion, the truth with capital T, because we all have our little t truths. It feels true. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know, but it feels true right at this moment. Well, the truth with capital T is what it is, the way it is. It's reality, okay? And the truth, it's universal. Everybody could see it from the same angle at all times. It's valid and available to everyone. It is the way it is, not what we make it to be, not what we want it to be, not how it should be, might be, could be, needed to be, it was. No, the truth is what it is, the way it is. The weather is the way it is. Good or bad, no matter how we see it, we have that choice, but it is what it is. And it won't change because of our opinion of it. So the sooner we are able to see, first of all, the truth, it is the way it is, and the sooner we are able to align with it, then we save ourselves a tremendous amount of suffering and struggle and loss of energy. So this is where I will be ending here with the idea that no, we don't need to force ourselves to think positively when we don't, or negatively. I'm not a positive or a negative person, but the reference point is what's the truth, what it is, the way it is, and that's where my reference point is. Thank you, and until next time.